Hey guys, and welcome. Today what we have is from Bandai. This is from the Gundam series. We have the RTX 65 Guntank early type. I don't know a whole lot about this vehicle. I believe it's either a predecessor or a prototype to the original Guntank from one of the early series, if not the original early series. Feel free to leave any comments. I know some of you are quite versed in Gundam lore. So if you know about it, just feel free to let me know in the comments. However, so just moving on to this model, I just thought it was a very cool looking vehicle. And let's just open it up real quick, take a real quick look before we get into the build. I don't, pretty much just a straight build and paint. I believe it kind of builds in these certain kind of modular sections and then comes together. So I think we're able to like build the tracks, and we can kind of paint those separately before attaching them to the rest of the pieces. Of course, the guns we can build and paint separately, but I think for the most of the main body we'll be able to put that together and paint it. I'm not sure whether we're going to do either more like the original grays or maybe a desert pattern or jungle green or camo green or something like that. But I'm just going to work on getting the components build. We'll paint the tracks up in some kind of dark gray or gunmetal looking type thing along with the guns. And well, let's just get started with the Guntank here. Okay, I have most of the parts put together in the sub-assemblies. I have the main, or I guess the lower part of the body, the upper part of the body. I have the head put together. And to show you, it's going to be hard to tell, but before I inserted this glass eyepiece or plastic eyepiece, clear, I put some this micro mask on it, and just to kind of cover up all that. So I'm going to be painting over the whole headpiece here. So hopefully I'll be able to take a toothpick or something and then remove the micro mask, and we'll have our clear eyepiece there. So I've already painted some of the darker parts. You get two of these ammo canisters. As you can tell, this one's painted, and that's this done with this Panzer Dark Gray from Vallejo. And kind of see the difference. That has a little bit of kind of a greenish gray look to it, but I like it. And so I've done all the similar color parts in this Panzer Dark Gray. I'm going to be painting first. I'm going to put a black base coat, primer coat on these gray parts, and then I have some to me light gray FF66 that will be doing the base coat on the rest of the parts here. And I'm going to paint it in these sub-assemblies, since it's, I don't want to attach it all together and then kind of be hard to paint all there. So this way I'll be able to have access to all around the different parts and the guns and different things. So I'm just going to work on getting that painted up, and we'll come back after that. Alright, as you can see, I have all the sub-assemblies put together. They're all painted and ready to go, at least the base color is down. And I've already went ahead and attached most of the body together. I just have to assemble the legs. Pretty much just put these parts all together, and we'll be ready to go. Once I get them all together, I'm going to put a gloss clear coat. We'll put the decals on, and we'll start the weathering on it. So I'm just going to assemble it and get that clear gloss coat going. Alright, I've added a clear gloss coat on it, so it's good to go. We're ready to start our weathering. We're just going to be doing some washes and dry pastels, probably some detail painting. It came with these, I believe these are stickers and not decals. I'm not sure yet. Yeah, I believe those are stickers. They didn't give you a set of decals, so it would have been nice to have some actual decals. I'm not real sure if I'm going to actually use those. I may, undecided yet. But anyway, so we're going to be applying all that, and we'll get it all situated. In the meantime, I've also started working on this little display base. This kind of a rough textured. Just took this wood plaque here, and this is just a mixture of white glue, water. It has some hobby sand, some gravel, but I actually just went outside and grabbed some gravel and dirt from my yard. You can actually make out some little sticks and stuff in there. And also I mixed it with a little paint to give it a darker color. Just kind of plastered that on there and let that dry overnight. So it's on there good. We'll paint this, just some acrylic black paint to kind of cover up the wood on there. But before I do that, I'm going to just put some washes on there to give it some depth, some tone, some break up the and ground it a little bit, give a little bit more dimension to it. So just want to show you that quick, easy way to make a nice little display stand. So go work on that, and then we'll be back. All right, we have a lot of it done now. I've applied a couple washes. I did a black wash, and I just used some acrylic craft paint mixed in with some water, very watered down, and just put that on. Actually, I didn't even wipe most of it off. I like the effect on it. I also did a light gray wash over some of the tracks area that kind of resemble the terrain coming off on the tracks. And I also did a lot of dry brushing, just using some Vallejo steel color and my paintbrush. Just I really like the effect of that, and that's all looking good. You can see the upper section. You can see where I've just did dry brushing because of that really kind of worn down look there. I also did quite a bit on the tips of the barrels and throughout the rest of the torso area. On his ammo canister here, you can see some of the dry brushing. I have a little bit more to do. I'm going to apply a flat coat, and I'll probably just use some Tester's dull coat to do that. And then I'm going to do a little bit more dry brushing because the dull coat's going to dull down some of the dry brushing. I still want that metal look, so I'll go back over and do a little bit more dry brushing with this steel. For our display base here, I've added a couple washes. I didn't do any more painting. I just did a black wash and then a light gray wash to kind of get in these areas, give it a little depth, a little contrast and texture. I have to paint the bottom here. I'm just going to use some black craft paint, acrylic craft paint, just to kind of paint this up. But we should be done. I'll just assemble him. I kept them apart, or took them apart. That made weathering and painting some of the details a little bit easier, especially the weathering part. So put him together, finish those things up, and when I come back, we'll be done. All right, well, here we are with our finished RTX 65 Guntank early type in the 1 to 1/44 scale from Bandai. We finished up with a dull coat from Testers over the whole model. I did a little bit more dry brushing with the Vallejo steel, and also some Vallejo like light tan to do a little bit of accents on his sleeves here on his shoulders. A little bit more, just a few detail brushing, a little bit more of the dry pastels and weathering powders to darken them up. We also removed the liquid mask that we put on his faceplate there. So you can now see his glass screen there. And we kept it on to the very last, and now we still have that kind of glossy glass look. And again, that was this micro mask, and this is Microscale Industries. It worked really well. I just took a toothpick to kind of pry it in there. Just want to be careful not to use something that's harder than the plastic, otherwise you'd scratch up the plastic. But it did come off fairly easy, and it only came off on where I put it on there. So very pleased with that result. We finished up add a little bit of black paint around the trim of our base, and I think it makes for a nice looking display. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed the video. It's a nice project. I would recommend it. It's a fairly easy build, and it has a nice detail. It's a cool design. And if you have any questions, just let me know in the comments. Until next time, everybody have a good one.